Hello, and welcome to my first video. I feel profoundly weird and awkward recording this, setting this up. It's weird, but not too much on that. I don't want to talk about that too much. So I moved to Germany, Berlin, Germany, from Columbus, Ohio. From the time making the decision to do that, to buying the ticket and the going away party and the actual process, like the flight and being here, I've had time to reflect. I've had time to think. I've just had a lot of time to think. I don't think it's been too much. I think it's been just enough time, considering the circumstances. But I feel like throughout the process of living here, however long that may be, I'm gonna come back to something like this and reflect on what I've learned or how I perceive what I've learned based on how long I've been here. So I've only been here for 2.5 months, or since the middle of October. So it hasn't been that long, but it has been. And a month ago I would have said it hasn't been that long, but it has been. In 2 weeks I would have said it hasn't been that long, but it has been. All that to say that I think this is ever evolving, this is ever changing, it's always gonna move. I was very successful this year, I think. I had a plan. And in order for that plan to work, I was gonna need money. So I picked up one job and then another job writing for a newspaper. And I also had another job in photography. I bought this camera that I am recording on, and I went out on a risk, and with the little money that I did save, I bought this camera and I just started going ham. Started advertising myself, started making contracts and making connections, and I just found myself in a position where I was holding 3 jobs at one time, and I was able to save a lot of money at one time. It was a very good year. I met some of the best people that I have ever met in my life, and I know looking back, it's easy to say that everything was bliss, but truly, this was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time for me. I had so much going for me. It doesn't mean, I don't say that to say that I have completely given up on everything and everything that I had going for me is just thrown out the window, you know, like it's still there. However, it's different, and it's a lot more difficult than it was then. I just had this idea that I wanted to move to Berlin, and as I continued on, you know, creating myself through these different pursuits, I knew that what I was doing in moving to Berlin was taking a risk, but also I knew that this risk was going to have reward. That's why I'm here. That's all it is. Here is what I've learned looking back on these past 2.5 months.
Yeah.
The first thing I've if I should say that I've necessarily learned this or if I've come to the end of what this is going to teach me, but grief is a lot more complex than I think I ever thought it to be. I knew grief was something complex, but I think I've been lucky enough in my life to where grief isn't something that I've had to deal with a whole lot. But there's a real heavy grief in moving to another country. There's a heavy grief in making a move this drastic. It's something that I feel guilty for feeling at times because nobody died. No one's dead. All my friends are alive. My animals are alive. My parents are alive. Everyone's alive. So grief in the traditional sense of losing someone, I don't have that, but I do grieve what I did have that I don't have anymore, which is the friends and routine and the movements that I would make every single day, just getting up out of my bed. And of course I miss my family and my friends, and I'm grieving them. I have a tendency to divide my life into different eras or acts where I look back on them with such deep nostalgia that it rocks me to my fucking core. And this tendency to have nostalgia and to be nostalgic is causing me just more unnecessary grief. I cried a lot in the last few days leading up to my move. I had a going away party where a bunch of people came, friends, relatives, people who had seen me through so many different stages and so many different lenses. I just kept meeting with these people and hearing them talk to me and about me, and I'm trying my best to stay present and, you know, just soak in everything. But it's like the whole time I'm just thinking, like, this is the last time I'm ever gonna see these people. Like, there's people that I'm never gonna see again that I saw almost every single day for the past year. And it just, I had something so good, and it's so hard to sometimes look back and be like, why did you give that up? What are you chasing that is worth giving all of this up? And it's really hard to explain, but it feels like just this emptiness, and I want to bring all of my friends here and all of those experiences here. And I think in an ideal world, everybody's seasons in life would align, but that's just not how that works. I'm in the process of grieving that season of my life and simultaneously preparing myself for the pain and struggle that is ahead of me, inherent to what I'm doing. A lot of this is going to sound very, it kind of is, but please listen, bear with me. Usually when I'm unemployed, this happened last time, I was unemployed for a long period of time, I get very spiritual and into these deep spiritual meanings, and like the stars are aligned for me today. And not to discount the things that I felt and thought in those times, but there is a pattern. When I don't have a job, I start to think. and I start to it's almost like I have the time and I have the free space in my head to actually express the gratitude that I know could have helped me when I did have a job and when I was doing something else, but I actually have the time now to do it. I don't have a job, I'm kind of alone in a new country, I don't speak the language, I don't really know that many people. I'm just here, and I'm doing things to fill my time and to disrupt these thought patterns that I'm able to have because I don't have a job. Like, bitch, I could be a fairy from a different dimension, but I've never had time to think about that because I've had a job, I've been employed, now I'm unemployed, and now I'm starting to think that I'm a fairy from another dimension. As I was saying, part of this process and the healing that I've had to do now that I don't have a job, or now that I have all this free time, is setting a lot of intentions and being very grateful because truly, if I were to sit here and just go through every single thing that I didn't have and that I wanted to be better, and yeah, and I did this for a long time when I first got here, but oh my fucking god, I was so miserable. Like, literally having like exhibit A, I'm freaking out, like, I was kind of clocked with, okay, let's fucking move on, let's see what we can do. And what did we do about it? We journaled, we talked to ourselves, and we reflected on setting intentions and reflected on gratitude because it's so good when you do that. I think that gratitude is such a foundational force for anything else, and setting intentions is kind of like, they go hand in hand, which is the title of this point that I have written down on my phone, is that wishing and gratitude go hand in hand. But I thought maybe that wasn't the best title for it, but now that I'm into it, I'm kind of seeing that it is. Reflecting on the past year and a half since I came to Berlin for the first time, this was just an idea. I live here. It's real now, but at one point, and for such a long time, it was just an idea, and I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do it, but I did. Sometimes that's really gaggy, and it makes me go, oh, like, shit, I guess I could literally do anything. Like, I could go skydiving. That's not something that I've ever really wanted to do, or that I've ever thought I would need to do, or be in a situation to do, but I could do it. I just had to take a step back and be grateful for the fact that what my reality is right now is my reality, and it's not just wishes and thinking. I have this journal that I have filled out through the course of this year. I was going through some entries from when I first got here, and I was talking a lot, how happy I thought I was gonna be, but how not happy I am, and kind of just like feeling really guilty about the fact that I had made this whole big deal about how much I wanted to move here, and now I'm not even happy about it. And I think that was so hard. And I wrote in this entry something about, I really, really miss having people who share my interests for culture and fashion and art and history and all these things. And I guess at some point I would have thought of it as just somebody I really relate to, but it's more so somebody that shares a certain number of common interests, I think. And I don't know what that number is, but I know that there's a lot. Because I have a common interest with all of my friends, that's why we're friends, but there's a bar where I'm like, okay, this person, this is something like for real. reminded me of how literally a week after I made that journal entry, I met a friend through a friend who was very loud and confident, and we shared a lot of similarities. We had the same interests in kind of music and pop culture and fashion, which I really appreciated. Also seeing that person live the way that they do was something that I didn't really think was possible, especially for me, living here. Seeing that was kind of just like, oh, I guess I can. And I remember writing on my Instagram story, I love this city. I just went across the city with my friend and we had so much fun and I learned so much. And for the first time I'm saying, I love this city. I want this city to give me all that it has. Looking back on that journal entry, I'm just like, hello, hello?
That you didn't.
Hello?
Hello manifestation, hello wishing, hello gratitude. What does it get you? I asked and I begged for somebody who I could relate to and somebody who made me feel like I could love this city. And boom, I meet this friend who shows me the city in a way that nobody else has, in a way that makes the city feel so much bigger, and what I'm doing here feels so much more worthwhile. And I don't know if that should be or makes sense to be a turning point, but honestly, it was such a, oh hello, this is gonna work. It just made me realize how I have to go about it. And I think that's a good way to explain it, is that this wishing and gratitude is really a foundation. Because if I had just stayed miserable and I didn't open myself up to having this mindset, then I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now, which is persisting. I saw this on Pinterest, to be honest, or Instagram. I've heard it multiple times before, but if you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. I am doing something that I've never done because I want something that I've never had. I want success and wealth in a way that I've never seen it in any realm of possibility anywhere near my existence. And in order to obtain that, I'm doing something different that nobody in my realm has ever done. Inherent to doing something like moving to another country, there's a lot of realizing that
2016, looking good.
I feel like this is my first time living on my own. This is my first time being an adult, for real, paying rent. It's a lot of firsts. And it's easy for me to try and do the same things that I did before. I love sleeping in. I love being in my bed. I love hanging out with my friends. I love getting high. I love a blueberry breeze. But there's so many things that I've had. I don't know. It just stopped recording for some reason. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Anyway, I've had to shift my mindset a lot. And I'm at this point where I'm like, you know what? This isn't Columbus, Ohio. This is Berlin, Germany. I have to do a lot of things differently. Through doing these things differently, I'm kind of proving to myself that I can do what I set out to do. And I thought I had that all figured out. I thought I knew how to prove that to myself. I thought I had proved that to myself already, but I hadn't done it in this context. And doing it in this context is really what's the only thing that I've learned how to do so far. Like, just by doing it for the first time and doing it, period, proving so many things to myself. Oh, fuck. Anyway. I don't know if this is even gonna get posted. I feel like it was so fucked up. I thought I had so much planning done, and I thought I could just like ramble through these points that I had. I don't know what I recorded and what I didn't record. I don't even know. Okay, I think it's recording right now. But fuck it. Maybe I'll record something else. Maybe I'll edit this and I'll post it any damn way. Who really gives a fuck? Yeah. I'm also gonna post something about this on Substack. So check that out. It'll be linked in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching this fucking video. Please subscribe and watch my other videos.